Suck ass job on the
Oh
plane.
man,
Trying to punch
that suck
ass up.
Airplane mode.
Look
Better
down on the
regulations
plane.
prohibit the use of cellular networks during flight, the use of Wi-Fi to make video or voice calls is not
Niggas
allowed.
made
Told that
job.
nigga instant.
Niggas job on the seat.
The pillow job through that so fast, nigga.
Two grown men, both millionaires, both legends from the same era, had a face-off in first class on a Delta flight home from the Super Bowl. But this beef did not just start today. It goes back over 20 years, and what this new footage shows might finally explain why it will never, ever end. To really understand what went down on that Delta flight in February 2026, you have to go all the way back to 1999, back to Queens, New York, back to when both of these men were just two hungry kids from the same neighborhood trying to make something out of nothing. Ja Rule, born Jeffrey Atkins, was already moving back then. He had signed with Murder Inc. Records and dropped a debut album that went platinum. He was on the radio, he was in the videos, he was the man everybody was watching. Meanwhile, 50 Cent, born Curtis Jackson, was still unsigned, still putting out mixtapes, still building his name on the underground. And somewhere in the middle of all that, something happened at a video shoot that neither man has ever fully agreed on, and both of them have been arguing about it ever since. The story goes that Ja Rule got robbed at gunpoint during a video shoot in Queens, and the guy who did it had a connection to 50 Cent. Some versions say 50 Cent was seen with the robber when Ja Rule spotted him at a club not long after. 50 Cent's side of the story is that his associate did it and he had nothing to do with it personally. Ja Rule's version, which he wrote about in his 2014 memoir, is that the chain was actually recovered quickly by Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a drug lord who was connected to Murder Inc., and that the real issue was something much smaller. According to Ja Rule, 50 Cent had been on the set of a record called Murder for Life that featured Jay-Z and DMX, and he felt like the team treated him like he was nobody. The director gave Ja Rule the star treatment, and 50 Cent, in Ja's telling, could not handle being overlooked. Whatever actually started it, the response came fast. 50 Cent went into the studio and recorded Life's on the Line, a track off his shelved album that made fun of Ja Rule's whole murda persona. There was even an unreleased version that called Ja Rule out by name and showed 50 Cent rocking the stolen chain in the video. That was a shot. A very clear, very deliberate shot. And shots get returned in this business. By the fall of 1999, both men were booked to perform at the same club in Atlanta on the same night. What happened next depends on who is telling the story. 50 Cent says he hit Ja Rule first after feeling like something was about to go wrong. Ja Rule's version is that he was the one who came out on top. Either way, chains got snatched, punches got thrown, and this thing was no longer just about words on a track. Then it went to a whole different level. In March of 2000, 50 Cent got ambushed at Hit Factory Studios in New York. Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, and a Murder Inc. affiliate named Blockchild were all there. Ja Rule hit 50 with a crutch. Blockchild stabbed him in the back, 3 stitches. Blockchild later said it was self-defense. People got arrested, but nobody got convicted. Then just 2 months after that, 50 Cent got shot 9 times outside his grandmother's house in South Jamaica. 9 times, and the man survived. The reason people believe it happened is because of a song called Ghetto Quran, where 50 Cent had put the names of real street figures on wax. The people connected to those names saw it as him telling their business to the world. The shooter, a man named Daryl Hamo Bomb, was killed just a few weeks later. Now here is where things get complicated in a way that matters a lot for the rest of this story. After the stabbing at Hit Factory, the NYPD issued an order of protection against Ja Rule and Irv Gotti on 50 Cent's behalf. 50 Cent said it was just a standard legal move, but Murder Inc. grabbed that and ran with it. They called him a snitch, they called him police, and that label became a weapon that Ja Rule's camp would use for the next 25 plus years. 50 Cent did not rush to respond. He took his time. He recovered, rebuilt, and then in 2002, he signed with Eminem's Shady Records and Dr. Dre's Aftermath, two of the most powerful people in music at that time. And what he did next was not just attack Ja Rule, he took him apart piece by piece.
In 2002, Wankster dropped. The song hit number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and painted Ja Rule as a fake, somebody pretending to be hard while dressing up in Tupac style and singing love songs over beats. The community loved it because 50 wasn't just angry, he was funny about it. He was surgical, and he had all of G-Unit behind him adding more pressure. Then came February 2003 and the debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin'. It sold 872,000 copies in the first week alone, #1 out the gate. And sitting right there on that album was a song called Back Down, a direct diss at Ja Rule that included the line, "You're like a Pop-Tart, sweetheart, you're soft in the middle." The label war was fully on now, and everyone in hip-hop was picking a side. Ja Rule hit back with Loose Change, and he swung at everybody in 50's circle, including Eminem's daughter, Haley. And that move alone turned a huge part of the rap world against him overnight. Going after somebody's child was a line most people did not want to cross, and crossing it cost Ja Rule allies he didn't even know he needed. Then came the most damaging blow of Ja Rule's whole career, and it didn't come from a song. In 2003, the FBI raided Murder Inc.'s offices and opened a federal investigation into money laundering connected to Kenneth Supreme McGriff. The investigation actually used 50 Cent's Ghetto Quran lyrics as part of how they built the case. The label's money got frozen. Irv Gotti was eventually found not guilty in 2005, but the damage to Murder Inc. was already done. The label was basically finished. And Ja Rule's career momentum, which had been at an incredible level just a couple of years ago, was gone. His 2003 album, Blood in My Eye, which he made almost entirely as a response to the beef, sold only 468,000 copies. For an artist who was selling multiple platinum records just a short time ago, that was a real collapse. And 50 Cent, on the other side, was only getting bigger. By 2013, Ja Rule sat down with Hot 97 and more or less admitted he lost. He said the federal investigation, the timing of everything, and the alliances 50 Cent had built with Eminem and Dr. Dre all worked against him in a way he couldn't overcome. He wasn't making excuses, he was just being honest about what happened. Fat Joe, who was cool with people on both sides and actually tried to bring peace between them, explained how close he thought he got to making it happen when he talked about it on Club Shay Shay.
You know, I was squashing the beef.
Right.
Fat Joe was squashing the beef. I had it. And Irv and Ja was like, nah, we ain't squashing shit. Yeah, I swore I had it. Like, I don't want to put it on 50, but I think 50 was almost like, yo, Joe, whatever you want to do. So I had that. And then when I went to them, they was like, fuck that, this, that.
Nobody really wanted peace badly enough to make it happen. And what Fat Joe said right after that cut straight to the heart of what makes this whole story feel like such a waste.
Recommend for beef to be 20, 30 years. I think that's dumb. I think it should be over. I think it would show amazing growth for hip-hop music if those two squash their beef.
Yes.
And we move on.
More than 20 years of bad blood, a stolen chain, a stabbing, 9 bullet wounds, a federal investigation, and a label destroyed. All of it still sitting between these two men with no end in sight. And that was just the beginning of this story. After everything that went down in the early 2000s, most people figured this beef was finished. Ja Rule's career had taken a serious hit. 50 Cent was at the top of the rap game, and hip-hop had moved on to new things. But 50 Cent is not the kind of person who lets things go. Not ever. And when social media came along and gave him a direct line to millions of people at any time of day, he picked up a whole new kind of weapon. This is the part of the story where the beef turns into something different, something almost like a hobby. By the time that 2010s came around, Ja Rule was dealing with problems that had nothing to do with music. In 2011, he started serving prison time for tax evasion and a gun charge. While Ja was locked up, 50 was on Twitter treating the whole thing like free entertainment. He made jokes and suggested Ja Rule look for regular jobs when he got out, like becoming a bike messenger. 50 reminded everyone who was listening that he was the winner in all of this, and a large part of the internet laughed right along with him every single time.
In 2014, 50 Cent performed old Ja Rule disses at Hot 97's Summer Jam, bringing back tracks like I Smell Pussy for a live crowd that had not thought about this beef in years. Ja Rule's response was that 50 was obsessed with him, and honestly, that was not wrong. But neither man could stop pulling at this thing. The real masterclass in pettiness came in 2018. 50 Cent found a Groupon deal for Ja Rule's show in Arlington, Texas, where tickets were going for $15, and he bought 200 front row seats specifically to leave them empty. He then posted a photo of all those empty seats on Instagram with a caption celebrating what a great show it was. The internet lost its mind over it. Ja Rule said it never happened and even put up a $10,000 reward in 2025 for anyone who could prove that it did. 50 Cent kept saying it happened. At this point, the truth of it almost does not matter because the image already burned itself into how people see this whole situation. Then 2019 gave 50 another gift he did not have to work for at all, the Fyre Festival. Ja Rule was one of the co-organizers of what became one of the most embarrassing public disasters in entertainment history, a so-called luxury music festival that completely fell apart and left thousands of paying guests stranded with no food, no shelter, and no music. 50 Cent flooded Instagram with memes about it for weeks, telling everyone that Ja Rule was the biggest joke in hip-hop. Because the Fyre Festival had already become a punchline that the whole world was laughing at, 50 barely had to do anything. The situation did all the work for him. This is what made 50 so effective at the long game. He didn't go out of his way to create disasters for Ja Rule. He just waited patiently for them to happen and then showed up with a phone and a caption. By 2025, Ja Rule was starting to talk more openly about what the beef had actually cost both of them over the years. On Carmelo Anthony's 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast, he said their beef had done to New York hip-hop what the Biggie and Tupac split did to the coasts, dividing artists, turning people against each other, and damaging something that could have been great for everyone. He said he still believed he was the better rapper and that his music aged better, but he also admitted that the beef itself had been bad for the whole culture. Then, December 2025 arrived, and whatever calm Ja had been trying to build for himself disappeared fast. 50 Cent had just released a Netflix documentary about Sean Combs called The Reckoning and was riding high off the attention it was getting. Ja Rule looked at that moment and decided to make a move. He publicly accused 50 Cent of being no different from Combs, called him a rat, a snitch, and a cancer to the culture. He brought up a 2013 legal case where 50 Cent pleaded no contest to vandalism charges after an incident with his ex-girlfriend Daphne Joy, with the original allegations including claims that he kicked her. He said he had receipts. He announced he might be putting together his own documentary about 50 Cent's history, and because he tied it all to the Diddy conversation that was already dominating the news, it got maximum attention. 50 Cent did not respond directly. He didn't need to. His documentary was doing big numbers and his trolling never required a lot of words anyway. But the temperature between these two camps was running hotter than it had been in years. And then came February 8th, 2026. Super Bowl weekend in San Francisco. 50 Cent, Tony Yayo, Uncle Murda, and the whole crew were out there doing appearances and events the way they always do, deep, organized, and making noise. Ja Rule was out there too, but he was by himself. That detail means more than it might seem at first. When it was time to fly home, everyone ended up booked on the same Delta flight from San Francisco to JFK. Yayo said later that they already knew before they got to the airport. Someone had tipped them off that Ja Rule would be on their flight, and not one of them considered switching flights or avoiding the situation.
We have the talk of New York, aka the talk of the airlines on Vlad TV
shout to
right
Delta,
now.
shout to Delta Airlines, man, for real, man. Y'all don't even know how to start this. Real reporters out right now, y'all.
Yayo and Murda had first class tickets. Ja Rule also had first class. And as the plane started filling up, Ja Rule walked down the aisle and found his seat, row 3. Yayo and Murda were sitting in row 4, directly behind him.
There's one up front, and it's like one in front of us. I was like, yo, Murda, it'd be crazy. I tapped Murda, I'd be like, it'd be crazy if he sit right here in front of us. Lo and behold, give it like 2 minutes. Boom, I see Ja. He see me. He spooked.
And from that moment, everybody on that plane knew exactly where things were going. The second Ja Rule spotted Yayo sitting in that first-class cabin, something in the air changed. According to Yayo, he saw him and went visibly nervous right away. He was alone. He had no crew, no backup, nobody with him. And when you see Tony Yayo, you already know who travels with Tony Yayo.
When you see me, who do you see? You see 50 Cent, you see Uncle Murder, you see some gangster niggas around all the time that's on timing. John know that. He just got punched out of the concert.
Ja Rule made his way to a seat with 2 bags, a carry-on roller and a smaller bag, and the overhead bins in first class were already full. He was standing there trying to get his bags stored, struggling a little, and that's exactly when Uncle Murda hit record and started talking.
Suck-ass Ja Rule on the
Pull
plane.
that, pull that
Suck-ass up, you suck.
Ja Rule turned around. He was not about to sit there quietly and eat that. He fired back, calling them old, calling them police, using the kind of language that made it real clear he was not going to be the one who looked scared in that moment. He stood up in the aisle. He started saying, "What we doin'?" and "Let's shake," which in New York street talk means "let's fight right now." And then he grabbed a pillow and threw it at Yayo. Witnesses and reports confirmed the pillow knocked Yayo's hat clean off his head. The flight attendants moved on it immediately. Both Ja Rule and Yayo were pulled off the plane temporarily while the crew tried to calm everything down. Yayo told everyone around him that they were on federal territory.
And that he had not done a single thing wrong. He was calm about it because he had already thought through the consequences. Getting banned from flights would mean no more Dubai, no more Paris, no more Morocco. He had too much good living at stake to let it go all the way.
You know you're gonna get 86th off these flights. We fly to Dubai. No more smoked duck in Morocco, nigga. No more caviar pancakes in Paris, nigga. No more black sand in the Canary Islands, nigga.
After the crew got the situation under control, both men were brought back to the gate area to talk things through. But the call had already been made on who started it. Witnesses told TMZ that Ja Rule was the aggressor, that he was the one yelling, threatening to fight and throwing things. Based on that, Delta rebooked Ja Rule on a later flight. He was off the plane, done, gone. And Uncle Murda, in one of the pettiest finishing moves you will ever see, walked back in and sat down in Ja Rule's old seat. Delta confirmed in a statement that 2 customers had been spoken to and 1 had been rebooked. No arrests, no charges, just 1 man sitting on the plane and 1 man waiting for the next one. 50 Cent was nowhere near that flight. He did not need to be. He reposted Uncle Murda's video to his 38 million Instagram followers the very next day with a caption that read, "He was by himself, so he had to make a scene so they could remove his scary ass. LOL, Yayo said, suck my dick. The gay stewardess said it's going down. LOL." And then, because we live in the age of AI now, he posted a video of himself generated by artificial intelligence, laughing without stopping and repeating Yayo's taunt on a loop. That video spread everywhere within hours. Ja Rule came back on X the next day and he did not hide. He came out swinging. He posted, "I popped on these punks by myself on a plane, LMAO, pussy ass niggas. I threw the pillow at Yayo head cause you soft. Knocked your hat all off. Shit was hilarious." He shared the message TMZ had sent him, the one that confirmed he had been called the aggressor, and he responded to it with laughing emojis like the label was funny to him. Then he tagged all 3 of them together in one post, whole team pussy, at 50 Cent, at Tony Yayo, at Uncle Murda. He also spoke directly to TMZ and said, "These fuckn't, so I addressed them, LOL." Now here is where the story gets interesting, because people watching the same video came to completely different conclusions about what they saw. Some people looked at that footage and saw a man who stood his ground, alone, outnumbered, on a plane where fighting is a federal crime, and still did not back down or go sit quietly. Some fans online called it courage and said Ja Rule backed them down.
Other people watched the same clip and saw a man who threw a pillow and got himself removed from a flight, while the people who started the whole thing sat comfortably and watched him leave, with one of them taking his actual seat. The LA Times described the whole thing with one simple phrase: pillow fight. Nobody really won that day, but 50 Cent had way more followers to push his version of the story out to the world. That has been true for a long time now, and it is a big part of why the public always seems to land on his side. Going back to what Fat Joe said on Club Shay Shay, there is one line that sits very differently now that you have seen what a 2026 version of this beef looks like.
Seems like when 50 get into it with somebody, 50 don't lose. He don't. And he don't care. He gonna keep
I had a show with 50.
That right there is the whole thing in one sentence. 50 does not even need to be in the room. He does not need to throw a punch or book a seat on the flight. He posts a caption, drops an AI video, and goes back to running his businesses like nothing happened. Meanwhile, Ja Rule ends up on a later flight, Uncle Murda is sitting in his seat, and the whole thing is on Instagram for the world to react to. That gap between them, one man with a massive platform and zero interest in letting things go, and another man constantly trying to tell his own story, is what keeps this beef alive every single time it looks like it might finally die out. Yayo actually summed it all up perfectly at the end of his Vlad TV interview, almost like he was reading from the back of a book about how beefs like this work. What do you think about this beef? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Also, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.